Welcome to Art That Heals Chapter 5, brought to you by Ujima Theater Company in Buffalo, New York. My name is Maria Ta, and I am a member of the Ujima Theater Company, as well as the program director for Ujima Company Incorporated. Since the start of the pandemic, we at Ujima turned towards the creation and sharing of art in an effort to heal one another and our beloved community. In this chapter of Art That Heals, we dedicate our digital space to the artists and creatives of the Asian American and Pacific Islander communities. As many of you may know, the AAPI communities across this country have grappled with an exponential increase in hate and violence over the last year. That hatred and violence has no place in this space. Instead, we welcome and stand in solidarity with our AAPI brothers and sisters as they share in the healing that comes from the creation and sharing of one's art. We have so many beautiful pieces and so many stories to share with you in this chapter. We hope you enjoy it and join us in the revolutionary act of healing together.
The idea to start this series came from simply being quarantined at home with my parents. This was the first time in likely 20 plus years where all of us, my parents, my brother, and myself, were at home at the same time for a long period of time. We had all gotten used to treating our home more like a bed and breakfast. Eating our meals and sleeping had been the only functions being exercised in our so-called home. The start and subsequent growth of the global pandemic of COVID-19 gave all of us, but especially me, an unexpected gift. The gift of family. The gift of time with my parents in a way that was never possible at this age. We start our lives completely glued at the hip to our parents. They are our protectors, our caregivers, our sources of food and happiness. That relationship breaks down as we become adults and we branch off on our own, only to return at the end of our parents' lives when we become their protectors, their caregivers, their sources of food and happiness. This pandemic has granted me and my family the opportunity to enjoy one another in a way that isn't connected to a physical need. I wanted to document this golden opportunity because I have found that over the course of the last 43 days and counting, I have discovered new things about my parents I never knew or never noticed. I also rediscovered old things that have made me pause and reflect on the time that has passed and the time that has yet to come. #COVID Chronicles will serve as a time capsule to remember a time when the world slowed down and when family came to mean something again. COVID Chronicle 2. Plastic cups start World War III. It's assumed that all this time spent in close quarters would inevitably lead to tempers flaring. While that assumption has some foundation in the truth, we've all seen it, and I've seen it play out in my household in small and often hilarious ways. Simple things become a point of contention, and part of me thinks it's the variety that arguing adds to the everyday, mundane sludge of living through a pandemic. That simple thing for my household was plastic cups. Yes, you heard me right, plastic cups. These are the plastic cups you typically get from ordering drinks to go at a restaurant, or in my family, when you buy pre-made desserts from the Asian market. While preparing some post-lunch dessert, my mom asked me to save the plastic cup when I was done with it. She said she wanted to feel like she was drinking coffee at a restaurant. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the practice, many Vietnamese restaurants in my area, at least, typically serve café soda in these plastic to-go cups. At this point, we had been in quarantine for about 3 weeks. I didn't question my mom's request. We miss what we miss. The request itself made me laugh, but it also made me reflect on the simplicity of my parents' needs, even to this day. I have been blessed with a life of relative comfort thanks to the hard work of my parents. They truly slaved in order to make sure I could have anything I could ever want. In return, I worked my butt off in school since that was the one thing I could control and the one thing they asked of me. Fast forward to this quarantine, and I miss being able to dine at all the hottest restaurants in town with my boyfriend, where we could easily drop upwards of $200 on a meal for just the two of us. I can already hear my mom at this fact. But what she doesn't know is that I log all the places I go to that I want to later take her and my dad. It is my hope that as I continue to work hard in my career, I can pay back my parents for everything they've given me. I know that no matter what I buy or give them, it will never compare to what they've given me. The least I could do right now was grant my mom her request to save some plastic cups. What I did not know was that she wanted me to save the lid too. Fast forward a few hours later, and my mom was gearing up to prepare her restaurant-style café soda. To her horror, she didn't find the lid with the cup. Uh-oh. You guessed it. The first shots of World War III. An! Nắp của Liam đâu rồi? What had I done? I had inadvertently costed my father his life, but before things got too heated, I diverted the fury spewing from my mother. I calmly informed her that the lid to the one cup was on the shelf of cups next to our sink. She found that lid and immediately began the interrogation on where the second lid was, which is when I told her I accidentally threw the lid out because I didn't know she wanted me to save that as well. This then provided my father the opportunity to return fire with sentiments of, "See, your mom is always blaming me for everything." Luckily, this was a short war with very few casualties. The final battle ended in laughter and all was well again. My parents' relationship for most of my life often felt utilitarian. I knew that together they made a great team that cared for and raised my brother and I without much complaint. There wasn't overtly much affection shown, at least any that I witnessed as a child. But now that both my brother and I are in our 20s, and for the most part self-sufficient, it seems they have the opportunity to be Tuấn and Nga again. I will attest that at times it can be absolutely barf-worthy, but most of the time I find it incredibly sweet, a model for my own relationship. My parents bicker like any couple, but they've ended nearly every fight in laughter. That is a victory to be proud of, considering all they've gone through. Childhood trauma, split families, becoming a refugee, coming to a new country, finding love, starting their own family, finding a means to provide for said family, and everything in between. You would think they would spend their lives being more bitter, more cynical to the way the world works, especially now. But even through a global pandemic, my parents can make something as menial as plastic cups a powder keg, while at the same time finding hope and the will to do something meaningful every day. The dichotomous nature of their interactions brings me pause. That hope, that laughter, and that love has sustained them through nearly everything life has thrown at them. So despite all the despair, the hopelessness, the worry, and the dread, I choose to laugh too. I choose to find comfort in being able to argue about the little things and make up in a fit of laughter.
the kitchen window, as if somewhere a body is falling apart, and flames are making their way back through the intricacies of a young boy's thigh, as if to walk out the door, your torso would dance with exit wounds. When my grandmother kisses, there would be no flashy smooching, no Western music of pursed lips. She kisses as if to breathe you inside her. Nose pressed to cheek, so that your scent is relearned, and your sweat falls into drops of gold inside her lungs, as if once a holds you. Death also is clutching your wrist. My grandmother kisses, kisses as if history never ended, as if somewhere a body is still falling.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Ian.
How are you doing today, Mom?
Good.
Yeah, what'd you do today?
Hả?
What'd you do today?
Hôm nay hả, mommy go out and clean the yard, weeding,
Okay.
and then also waiting for this exciting video.
You did a lot today, Mom, before all of this.
Oh my God, get up early every day, early. Yeah. So I picked myself up a little bit because I've been looking like a mess.
You look good, Mom.
Oh, that's good. You look good.
Come on, man.
Không có gì con. How many people are joining you?
Oh, just me and you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're gonna teach me to make đậu hũ chiên cà chua. Just to go over the ingredients again, Mom. I have cà chua,
Very good.
có ketchup, hành,
Hành lá.
lá. I have nước mắm, tỏi. And then cái này là đậu hũ chiên, which con làm
Qua.
yeah. It's like quite nhỏ, but it's okay. Tiêu and muối.
Giỏi.
And
Tiếng Việt Yên giỏi quá ta.
it's okay, cũng được. And then got đường. And then I actually ran out and got some chicken broth sáng hôm nay.
You snuck out. You're supposed to wear glove and mask. Did you? I hope you wear mask and
Yeah,
gloves.
I wore all the protections, don't worry. And then I got some cornstarch too. Tại vì con muốn nấu giống mẹ. Like
Okay.
yum exactly. I'm gonna gak ki chai jerk but new cloves.
I love garlic, so you can put as many as you want.
Okay.
Garlic is good for you anyway. Ăn tỏi tốt lắm đó con. It's good for your heart.
I'm gonna do bone guy.
4 cái tỏi, 4 tép tỏi.
Bone dead.
4 tép nó thì thơm quá.
Should I crush it?
Yeah. Nó mới thêm cái mùi nó thơm.
How did you learn how to make this dish, Mom?
I just learned it on my own because I remember how it tastes when I was young, and I kind of learn it as I go. And I'm sure my first try wasn't that good.
Should I cut the cà chua?
Yeah, dice it.
You think that guy is good or?
Chắc 2 cái thôi con.
Okay. Do you ever like miss Vietnam, Mom?
Yeah.
What do you miss?
Now, as we get older, you tend to miss your youth a lot growing up in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Especially living in Florida. Sometimes the temperature and the environment and the smell remind me so much of when I was growing up in Vietnam.
What was like your favorite memory?
Springtime.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Like now. You know, the leaf, the smell. And I don't know, I just love springtime over there. Over here, the leaf turned in fall, but over there in spring, you see the leaf falling and the wind kind of blow it. And the air is nice, cooler. It's really nice. I remember summertime, we get really sad because we have to depart from our friends. What do you call that? But we don't have yearbook over there. So we just have a notebook and then we pass it on and people write poems.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, and then they press the flower, the Poinciana flower is a red flower represent for student in Vietnam.
Yeah, I remember showed me before.
We play hooky sometimes, and I remember sneaking out of school and I went swimming.
Did you ever get in trouble?
No, because I always keep up with my grade. So ông bà doesn't know. They didn't know.
Oh, wow.
What they don't know won't hurt them.
Well, Mom.
Just like you guys.
Doesn't hurt you either.
Huh?
What
I
you
know.
do, what doesn't hurt you either. It's sometimes weird to think about like your parents were once kids, you know?
So we know every step you do.
Yeah. Sometimes I think about it every now and then, especially lately. Like, it's like I can't help but think that like your childhood was like pretty much like stolen,
Yeah,
particularly because of the war, because you came here when you were so young.
yes.
So
I left the country when I was 14 and a half. And then when I came to US, I was only 16. So I was pretty much watching cô Hà, cô Trang, cô Lan, so I don't really have my youth.
yeah,
It was growing up, taking care of bills, watch out for everybody. But it's okay. That gives me more experience, and I learn more. I'm tougher,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
tougher in life.
I always think about, I know how hard you guys have worked, and it gets me emotional talking about it, but
Yeah,
it's just,
I know. We work hard for you guys.
yeah,
So you guys have a better future.
and
We
yeah, um, but it just reminds me of like, how strong our family is and resilient, Vietnamese people are, um,
Mhm.
especially coming over here, like as a kid with like nothing, no parents.
Money. We
Yeah,
start out with no money.
yeah,
Yeah. And look at where we're now, so we're so proud sometimes. We pat ourselves in the shoulder. We said, wow, we came a long way. We were well off in Vietnam, but unfortunately that the war had to happen. So we had to leave the country for a better future. And of course, when we came here, we don't speak English, we don't have money. So even Bác Thắng was a janitor for the mall. Bác Tuấn was a janitor for the school. So is Bác Hằng. And I was watching kids at the YMCA in the summer. So, so we had to do something.
yeah,
But at least we only live, thank God for the government help us for a little bit.
yeah,
uh, so we get our feet, and we're thankful for that. We thanks America and American people help people like us to start our life here in America,
mm,
and we never um, forget that. So now I think back. At first, we were struggling in our life here. We said, "Oh my God, why did Grandma, Grandpa took us over here for?" But now I think back, I said, thank God they did. And they sacrificed a lot,
mhm,
money, financially, emotionally, to leave their kids, willing to take that risk to, brought the kids out of the country just so they can have a better life. So this way, our children can have better life.
mm,
And look at us now. You all sure did. So, yep, they succeed what they wanted, and I'm glad that you all have very better life.